Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is Season 6, the realistic season, but not really realistic because it's really just very hard. I had to think about what we need to do next, and I really like the bauxite thing. I think it's going to make us money. I should probably look at the exports, but at this point it's too late to change my mind anyways because I'm kind of committed. But I like where we are. I like a lot where we are. The thing that I thought about is I think it's going to be very important to have trains early on. Why? Because we have to get this aggregate storage filled up with up to 50 workers, with all the bauxite mines that we have sitting over here. And that should make us a good chunk of money, even with the new mathematic thingies that were talked about in a couple of the reports a while ago. I don't think they scare me right now. Maybe I'm completely off, but we should make a lot of money. We cannot make a lot of money just by trucks. The trucks will be fine, but I think we can produce a lot of bauxite in this area that will make us way more money than we can spend. And if we have a good cash flow going on right from the beginning, we should be in a great place. So today we're going to put in a rail construction office, construct that, hopefully fast. Probably not though. Rail construction office, hopefully constructed fast. And then over the winter time, have one of the rail lines be constructed, plus start this city, because we will need the city eventually, and that's the best thing to do in the first winter, while things are relatively slow, but construction vehicles, construction cranes on the rail side are relatively fast, so that should work out really well. What do we have going on here? Well, we really don't have a lot of problems yet. I think I do need to put a passenger stop over here because this coal mine takes what? 600? No, 200 people? 220 people. That's possible to move by bus and it's probably fine, but I'd rather have a train bringing them there. Even though a train may be more expensive, but that's not a problem right now. Anyways, let's get started with this because this is really the main thing that we have to care about. Nope, that's definitely the wrong one. It's not even the ballpark of right. Rail construction office is what I wanted. Are there any mods that are cool? This is a rail construction office with one thing, 30 workers. I kind of like you. I kind of like you a lot. Huh. I don't see parking spots. How many parking spots do you have? You have stations for vehicle loading, unloading, 2. This one isn't bad. Here's the thing, I'm only planning on using one rail thing, and this one will probably get torn down eventually because there's no real need for this one to do anything. Also, why are there 2 ins and 2 outs? What are the outs? How does stuff move around in there? I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to only have one of these connections right now, because I'm not going to have more than one vehicle in here, simply because this is a solution for right now to start building our rail pieces. It is not something that I want to do later on. So how about we just connect this one, because that's all I really care about. With the new rail construction mechanics, it's really easy. You don't have to do the turnaround loops anymore, so that is wonderful. And yeah, I think this should be fine. That is connected really to everything up to here, which is all I care about. It's this track. And that will get us going. So all we need is really build this one. I'm kind of surprised that I have this, that this building is my first mod that I'm using here, but I feel it's very appropriate for what we're trying to do here. Now, the thing that we need to do is actually get this one started. What do we need? We need concrete, gravel, asphalt. Concrete, okay, that can be a dumper. A dumper is doing gravel and asphalt pretty easy. Concrete, we need a concrete dumper, which we can just get from out here. I don't want to micromanage them too hard, but I would like to get this done as cheap as possible just because it's just a temporary solution. Let's turn everything on here. That should be fine. Yep, you got all of that assigned. You're doing your thing, so now we're gonna get a concrete guy in there. We still need an excavator, and I don't want to wait for the excavators to show up here. So we're just gonna place one quick extra construction office here. Also, this has to be removed eventually because to complete this rail track, well, it has to go through here. So there's a problem. But let's get me an excavator that I like. Very good. And then that excavator should start on the groundwork right here pretty quick. And then we just need bricks, boards, and steel afterwards, which is just a simple open haul. Cool. Let's assign you to this. And while we're here, how about we assign you, just get one extra small minibus, because that's all we should need. And I guess then we need a crane too. Do we have an extra crane sitting around over here? It's currently not working. Nope, they're all being used, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, because we need all of this to get done eventually. And I actually slowed down time because winter is upon us, and I wanted to make sure that we have everything that we need to get things moving. We don't have a crane here yet. Let's get a road crane. We could use the opportunity to actually get a bigger crane, but I don't think that's necessary. Okay, this should work. This piece of construction office we can remove once that rare construction office is done, plus once this piece of road is done, because it's really the last thing that we care about. Anything else I should do before I turn my rail lines into actually planning mode? I think the answer is no. So click. Very good. That looks nice. That will get us everything that we need for right now. Get everything that we have here set up. That's also good. And yeah, we'll worry about the road pieces over here once we get there. Shouldn't be a big problem. How are things going over here? You are full of raw bauxite. I'm not surprised by that. We are exporting currently some of it. Where are they? That's what, no, this is the gravel truck. You're different. Where are you going? You are the bauxite guy. So you're making 655 a trip. You can hold what? How much fuel can you hold? One of those big guys. Anyone tell me? 1200? I don't know. I'd like to know. I'd like to know how much fuel we're spending for the amount of bauxite we're exporting. Probably not enough. And that's a pretty easy theme. Eventually, it'll just all work out. For right now, the raw bauxite is not worth as much as the other bauxite. It's just a 1 to 2 conversion, I think. So if we export right now, raw bauxite, 26 bucks, bauxite, 53 bucks. So it's a 1 to 2 conversion. Ooh. But a truck would effectively be worth twice that when they actually move that around. We're producing a lot here. We're not moving as much bauxite as we could, which is really the problem here, which is why we need the train. All of these things have to be constructed relatively soon too, but not right now. Okay, first things first. Let's check out where excavator can reach, and it is right up to here, which is honestly a pretty good spot. It's like somewhere over there is where it stops. Just drag it over, and this is where the line is. That is not a bad place to be, because this is exactly where our city is going to exist when we're done with it. So wonderful, cool. We can actually get started on things, and we shouldn't run into any humongous issues. City planning. This is city planning 101. If you really care about it, this is where you should pay attention. And yeah, we're just gonna make sure that this one is getting constructed, but I don't have big worries about this getting what it needs. Where's your... Oh, let's get us another one of these. Let's do this. Otherwise it's going to take forever. Give me another dumper, and that should take care of things. I can probably assign this to a higher priority, even though the road is really what I'm caring about, but that'll be fine. These guys, actually, construction office 1, if we assign you to this road, you may bring gravel out there a little faster, because we already have a lot of gravel sitting here. That's not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea at all. But yeah, there we go. Get all this stuff done. Thank you. Spend enough money now. Let's plan a city. What do we need from a city? Couple things. I'm not giving up on the metropolis idea. I would like to have the city be the core, 10,000, 12,000 people, but I don't mind having an opportunity to build a little coal mine village out here that has some bare minimums, but that can communicate with this city for some other things, because yeah, this can be a highway. That's fine. We can even have a train connection going there too. That's either of those are totally fine setups. I don't know where I would put the rail connection. Probably try to run through here. That shouldn't be impossible. And yeah, then we should be good to go. We'll just have to see how things are moving. But to get that to get that realized at all, we have to, well, build a core of a city that has everything that we need. So let's get started with some mud roads, shall we? Grid lines? No, thank you. Not in this case. Let's do this. I actually like to do it this way. Give me a relatively straight road from the center of this station, because this station is probably going to be the center of our attention, because it can hold up to 1,500 people, and that means it's going to be a big help fulfilling all demands that we may care about or don't care about. I don't know yet. Then give me just a street there, give me a street here. I would like to avoid having streets going to crossing this, if I can, so I will just have a secondary street going behind the station. There's no real rational reason for that. I just don't like it because it can cause some well, blocking situations where your train is going somewhere where you don't want it to go, and then everything is annoying. And I don't like getting into those situations. So there you go. Did I make a grid? Yes, I made a grid. Can we do something different? Well, yes we can. Why don't we try that? Even Lee Hawkins has called me out on that I go very grid heavy, which I'm honestly not doing intentional. But here we go. So we'll just see how this town develops itself. Let's take these out too. The rest of the streets can honestly stay the way they are. But how about we follow some contours? Is this gonna make a real difference? Nope. But I don't hate it. So let's have you come out here and there, and just, instead of a straight line, instead of a straight road, let's make something just a little different. You're kind of going this way, and I know this is totally exaggerating everything, but why not? Then there is a very straight piece here. Make it just like a little bit archy. That's not terrible. And then this can probably just continue up the hill here, up the mountain, and connect back up here. Sure. I don't think that's totally terrible. You probably don't think that either. So we are good. Now this one can just get to this highway this way. I don't know how I'm going to connect this. I don't know if we need to do something fancy here. That's why everything at this point is just mud road and nothing else. Is this really important? Yeah, maybe. My face looked really funny there. Yes, this is somewhat important because the next steps are actually planning out things and filling in things that we really care about. The streets are movable. The buildings are not very movable once they're placed, once they're starting to be built. So what do we need? I said I want a city of about 12,000. That means we at least need the big shopping center. We probably even could justify having more than just one big shopping center. Where should we put that? I don't mind putting that right here. The only problem is the factory connection is pointing towards the street right now. That's unfortunate. So we're going to put the shopping center right here. I'm pausing because this is going to be a main road that leads right to the shopping center. If the shopping center road gets really busy, and I'm also expecting a lot of buses to be on this road, then the shopping center may not get all the materials that they need. I am leaving myself a lot of room in a lot of different locations that this may not be a huge deal, but putting the shopping center out here is also not very central. This may be a better location for it. It's still relatively central to part of the city. It wouldn't have been up here. And it's definitely in walking range of the station. The station is really the important thing here. The station has to be the thing that's in range of all the amenities that I care about. So placing you there does not feel terrible. Now I just want a road cargo station. The small one should be more than sufficient. Get it nice and close, because I don't believe I want anything else from this, and get me a connection that would connect easy to whatever warehouse we're connecting here. Maybe take this connection off, because there's no reason for any other vehicle to go in there, so just having one intersection here may be beneficial. Cool. I don't hate that. Moving on. That's the grocery store and the shopping center, very important. We could also have gone with the Ukraine DLC Okian supermarket. It's just a little smaller, but not a lot smaller. Restaurant, I'm not gonna go fancy yet. I don't think we need that right away. A pub will be very helpful for many different reasons. And I will just, yes. I will put it somewhere. And the somewhere is just right here. There should just be one vehicle really needing to deliver to the pub. And if the pub doesn't have something for just a little while, it's not the end of the world. It's just one vehicle delivering here. Yeah, this shouldn't be bad. Put it in. Yes, put it in right there. Not the best place, but I'm assuming this is going to be our heaviest used route. So, no, I don't like that the junction is where it was there. So maybe put the pub here, near the train station. I kind of like that. I did that in the Season 5 Metropolis part. Yeah, I don't hate that. We'll see what we do with that road there. Pub. A pub will give you extra health. It will give you a penalty on health, but extra happiness, which is important when anything runs out at any point for whatever reason. So sometimes it's good to have a pub. Cinema, you generally only need one, and there's nothing that needs to be delivered here, so I don't think this is a super terrible spot for it. If you're in walking range of the shopping center, but honestly, I prefer having all our amenities in walking range of each other, because that's how the AI works, the citizens work when they decide where they need to go and what they need next. So putting that there makes more sense to me. It should be fine. Radio station is something you should build, 100%, but it's expensive. We don't need it right away. We do need an indoor pool, because if you just place a soccer place, it's going to be closed in the winter, and that is not acceptable. Let's place that one there. Do we have all the basics? We have some basics. We have nowhere near all the basics, so we'll see how the rest goes here. How's this going? You have just started the groundworks? Really? I expected you to have done a little more by now, but I guess that's what it is. Why are you parking there when someone's just coming out? Here we go. Main road, that one. Love it. Thank you. It's more complicated than it needs to be. Absolutely. This one's almost done. Yay! Good job. And then what? Well, the buses will drive a little faster. That's good. Okay, moving on. Residential areas. We have pretty much everything taken care of besides the actual residential areas. I will turn off the mods for right now. Just no favorites only is fine. Just because there's a lot of stuff that gets loaded extra when it's not really necessary, because I'm not planning on using it. Cool. What else do we want? Fire station. Yes, this one is a big question mark to me, because I would like to have the fire station cover all of this. They have about a 2,500 meter radius for driving. So let's see, if I will put you right there, to here, as the crow flies, is about half the distance that they can travel, maybe a little more. So in my mind, we probably have to put a direct road connection in here just for the fire station to be able to get out there. I do want the fire station to be in walking range of all of workers, so that workers can actually get there without needing a bus to be supplied there. So I guess the fire station goes right here. Definitely in walking range of that. Definitely closer in range to the industrial area that we're building. For coal, with the coal village, I'm hoping that I can put another fire station close to that before we have to actually get that situated. So that should be fine. I'm pressing T to flip this around because the footpaths are all pointing to the right of the building, or to the left of the building by default. Now they're pointing to the right. I think that's a little better, or the connection should be a little easier. And that is important. That is very important. So that looks fine. Hospital. Hospital is just for the city. You do want a hospital. You don't want to skimp out on the hospital, but you only need it in the city. And because of where it is, I will just put it here. Why? Because I will give some vehicles to this hospital, because he should. And then it's effectively centered around the city, plus it's in walking range of the station, so people that are sick should be able to get here relatively easily without having the hospital traffic overwhelm the rest of the city, and I kind of like that. Let's continue this road here for the same reason, if the 90-degree curve, for the same reason. So now the hospital can drive to all of these places without going through this most likely very convoluted junction all the time. Cool. I'm kind of getting to the point where I have to place the bus station. Do I really need a bus station? Well, yes. For the plans that I have, we're not going to have a fully functional train set up for a while. So having a bus station somewhere is beneficial. I would like the bus station actually... Ooh. It was green there for a second. I don't hate this, but I would like the bus entrance on the other side. Oh, I don't hate this at all. It's really close to everything. There's no footpath connection that we can get in here, but I think we have everything else that we need. If we push this back just a tiny bit, I will be even happier. Yes, we want a bus station because it will be supplemental to our other types of connections, and that is important to me. There we go. Now we can actually put a footpath in front of the bus station and behind it, and that will take care of all the foot traffic that we need. Plus, it's in range of everything that we care about too. So that should be good. The bus station only has a 500 people capacity, so the train station will be what we really care about later on, for workers to move them anywhere, but the bus station is a very good start, especially for all of this. And that should be really good. How are you doing? The only thing I care about here is I don't want to miss the point where I can add the actual construction crane, because that's going to take all winter and longer to actually build anything that we care about. So there's that. Cool. Bus station is in. School. School is important. Kids are prone to be sick and to hurt themselves all the time. So how about we put that across from the hospital? And one school should be mostly sufficient for one city of this size. So that feels good. I'm not going to build an orphanage right now. They changed the code. It's working a little better. It's not a death trap anymore, but an orphanage should not be required at this point, as long as well, it may help, but it's a big investment and it uses a lot of workers that I want to spend. Kindergarten is something that I add after I add residentials, always. Just feels a little easier that way. University. Yes, we do want a university. We want the cheapest one. The cheapest one is the one that doesn't spend a lot of time to get built. I actually like this location for it, right next to the train line. So when you come in, you can actually see this, and it's not taking up a lot of the space of the city. And this should also allow us to have people shipped in as students so that they can go study here, which will be important for later when the coal town is actually being turned on. We're not there right now. Moving on. We don't need any dorms. It's not necessary at this point because a city should be small enough. Police station. For the size of city that I'm planning on, you could start with a small police, but honestly, I think this one will get us further. The problem that we will run into here is the police station doesn't do anything without a courthouse, and the courthouse doesn't do anything without a prison. So you need all three to actually do something. We're going to build the smaller courthouse. Where should we build you? I don't see a good reason not to have you close to the university, because that's where all the smart people are, right? Lawyers are coming from the university, so putting this here doesn't feel wrong. And it feels kind of connected to everything. I like that. And then we need a prison. Sadly, there's only the big prison available. I don't like it in the middle of the city. But I think here feels okay. And we can use a prison bus to transport our prisoners to work in the mines and some other places, which actually are a lot. So now they're on the way out of the city. And you also have to deliver materials to the prison. By materials, I mean food and clothing and like stuff you buy at the shop. So yeah, that's just another thing that's not too far away for our delivery guys. So we don't clog up this road too much. At some point, I will probably have a better connection or a secondary connection over here. I just don't have that right now. So cool, that is done. Secret police, is this important? It is important when you care about loyalty. And you should care about loyalty because that gives you a lot of different benefits. It gives you productivity boost, it also gives you a happiness boost, and it gives you a couple other things. But the best way to improve your loyalty is to know your loyalties, so you can have people that are highly loyal in positions that can give you bonuses for having highly loyal people. Without the secret police, you cannot have that. Now we're getting to the point where if I put it here, they have to drive really far. But I think if I put them here, they are relatively easy in reach of all the people that they have to drive to. And most of this road is going to be gravelled before the city is done. So it should be okay. There's another place where I could put the secret police, which is a way too big building, and we need a smaller vanilla one for that. Maybe up here in this corner, but I'd rather have this as residential space. So this should be fine. City Hall Accounting Office, not required. You get all the information that you want if you click on the city name. No, actually, you don't get it. If you had a city hall, you could get information here, but you get the same information for the first city in your population statistic. So a city hall is an expense that I'm not willing to take on right now. Technical service, yes, 100% need that. But technical service does not require any workers, so I'm happy putting that outside the city a little bit so they can serve more communities. It's important that the city is free. Well, it's important that most of your roads are free of debris in the winter. So yeah, we're just placing it there. That should be able to cover the city plus the industries over here, plus a little bit of the interstate that will happen eventually. How are things going over here? Slow. Got it. I'm also planning on really slow, but we're going to have snow tomorrow, and then actually we can just speed it up now. It shouldn't be a problem because there are some tricks for turning or for getting rid of the snow here, which some of you actually mentioned to me not that long ago, so I'm excited to try those out. Cool. What else do we need? Pollution monitoring station. I hope we don't need that because, well, these two are going to put out pollution and these two are going to put out pollution. We should be okay enough. If not, I'm just probably screwed. From here to the city center, over 1,000 meters, we should be okay. The power line should run, should produce a little more pollution, but it should be okay. Okay, so here is what they told me. You can use the restore soil, make it big, to remove the snow. I love it. All this is doing, it's not removing the trees, which is what I would do beforehand. Removing the trees is a side product by using the bulldozer. This one just removes everything, and you can actually see the part of the city that we want to be working on, which is really all I care about. So that looks good. Obviously doesn't remove everything, but it removes enough things that we can actually get started. Now when it snows again, I have to do that a second time, but that's not the end of the world. Cool. Are we ready for residential buildings? I think the answer is probably. If I would put a radio station somewhere, I think the radio station would also go near the entrance of the city. Should I put it parallel to the rail again? I don't hate that idea, and it gives me a relatively easy connection for the footpath. So there feels pretty good. Get me a road connection there. Now we have all the big buildings not in the city taking up valuable real estate. I'm okay with that. Let's start building the city. Okay, what are the first things that we need? The thing that I always forget is a monument. Sadly, the Ukraine DLCs do not have a lot of loyalty bonus, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So that's what we're gonna deal with. Let's put the Red Star Monument right here just to get started, and that will be our first. The monument that probably covers the whole city, so we don't have to add more stuff. The rest is just for fortification, and I'm hoping that it can keep the area around the train station relatively empty, but I don't know if that is attainable. We'll see. What residential buildings should we use? I don't like to use the super small ones. I don't want to use the I think it's Nerpo flaps right away because they're so high capacity. These aren't terrible to start with, but I started with those in the last season, which no longer is with us. Should I start with these? Let's look at the steel cost. 10 tons of steel, 100 tons of prefabs versus 5 tons of steel and 50 tons of prefabs for 127 people versus 257, so it's almost a 1-to-1 for that cost. Here we have 150 tons of prefab for 14 tons of steel for another extra 100 people, so that feels the same too. Are any of these cheaper? I think the ones that are cheaper will be these ones. Oh, 40 tons of prefabs and 4 tons of steel. That is not cheap at all. That one or this one? I like the look of these better, and we actually have 2 options for them, so this is what we're going to use. Oh, let's use another tool that we now have available, which is, let's pin this, and then where is the thing? Make city. Yes. We are going to put this one in the city. Make from buildings. Yes, clear. I want you. This one? Oh, they changed how this works. Lame. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. 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 Cool. Select buildings from bottom menu. When I click on you, there you go. So now I have this building. If I press Q, I get the other building. If I press E, it's also cycling through. So these are the 2 buildings that we now have available, and I don't have to go down here to change it anymore. Obviously, it's a lot more efficient if you do that, if you have more than just 2 buildings, but I'm okay with doing it this way. Let's put you there. I'm not going to connect the footpaths right away, because I don't quite know yet how this is going to look, because I don't want them to look completely gridded up. That's the whole point of the city, the way that I'm doing it right now. So let's not do that. Give me a quick update on 257 and 337. So 300, both of these are 500. Yes, 500, 800. So we're at about 1,000 here, which is not terrible. No. Click this button. Let's see. I can put another one here, which may be the only thing that goes in that block. And then that's another 300. So we're at 1,400, 1,700, 1,800. This one may be out of range for walking towards the train station already, which is not ideal, but for 2,400? No, 1,700, 2,000. What do we say? 1,000? 1,500, 1,700, 2,000, 2,000, 2,400, okay. And then put something here that is somewhat aligned. That's not bad. We're probably at about 3,000 right now. Give me a couple buildings. Like, you could totally squeeze one in here, but that would feel really wrong. Sure, you can stay right there, as well as right here. That doesn't feel that wrong. We have a big block of empty space here. Let's see, can we angle an angle? Give me another one that kind of just fits in between those. And then give me... no, yeah, you won't fit here. You don't want to fit there. That's fine. Give me another one here. Here. And then this looks like another case for this building, just a little different orientation. So now we have what? 2 of these are always 500, 500-ish. So 1,000, 1,000, 1,600, another 1,000, so 2,600, 3,100, 3,500, 4,500, 5,500, about 6,000 is this currently. That's not terrible. That's not terrible and very expandable. I like that. I like that plan for now. Okay, so we have some buildings in. We could put a lot more buildings right here. Honestly, I should do that right now. Give me this again. Line these up somewhat similar to what is going on over there. There. Add another 1,200 people. No, another 1,000 people here. That's not bad. And then should someone live next to the prison? I would actually like to put someone next to the prison, but not with those buildings that I have right now. So turn this off because I just want to turn this on. Yes, these long buildings feel like something. There are some mods for these that effectively put a lot of graffiti on these types of buildings. I don't hate those, but I would like them just to do the borderline for what we're doing there. There are only 174 workers. It's not a lot, which means there's another 500. So we're at about 6,500 now, which is what the shopping center can hold. Pretty easy, and that should get us a pretty solid start. Well, now we're done with that. What else do we need? Everything else. What's the first thing that we need? Heat. Let's figure out a heat exchanger setup. The heat exchanger pipe should point at a direction that makes sense. Also, the heat exchanger has a certain capacity. You can approximate that by going to the buildings and see what is your heat water tank. 17 cubic meter and 23. So let's say 5 of these buildings need 200 cubic meters. So 7 of these buildings need 300 cubic meters. 300 cubic meters is the max tank capacity of a heat exchanger. So 7 buildings effectively is what we can handle, which means these are 6 plus 3 is already more than 7. So if we put this one here, we have one building started, and that just heats everything that's here plus the prison. It's not terrible. Not terrible at all. We can put a second one here that will heat. Let's see, can we put one here? I think if I can put one here, I'm a little happier. But honestly, these 6 buildings are already heated. Now this is all about those guys. So putting this a little closer to where it's required will be better for the heat efficiency. And now what are we looking at? We're looking at 6 buildings here. No, 5 buildings there. And another handful of buildings here. So we're going to try to overlap something a little bit, which we are doing. That's good. Let's see. Heat exchanger there feels very, very inappropriate. Heat exchanger here. I would much rather put a different building here, but I'm not sure that I have that luxury right now unless... Oh, I can put it back here. Yeah, this is fine. This doesn't feel bad. Now, how many heat exchanger... I don't believe the heat exchanger math is 100% right in this time, in this case, because I know that 3 heat exchangers can heat a city of 10,000 people. So this is rough math, but there we are. And I think they're placed relatively good, so I'm okay with that. Where are you? You are done! That's what I like to hear. I need you to deliver everything that you need. That is yes, 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 and yes. All of it. Cool. Until it's full. Very good. You are allowed to load from here. You're only going to unload steel on that location, but everything else is allowed. So we're just going to turn that on like that. 1 truck should be sufficient for that type of behavior. I do need a cover truck because... Do I need a cover truck? We don't have electronic components right now. Can I afford doing diesel right away? If I want to do diesel, I have to put a diesel station in an appropriate location. diesel, maybe a little more economical at the beginning. I don't know about later on. But yeah, if I want to do diesel, I have to put it in a location that makes sense. It has to be in a location that has power, and it has to be in a location that will be used a lot. For example, right here does not feel terrible for that type of thing. So how about we just demolish this? Yes, thank you. Demolish that, get me a train diesel station. I feel like I've done something very similar on the other season as well, but can I just put them right in the middle here so they don't block everything? I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Wrong button. Take you back to that node, take you back to this node. Get me the piece of track that we actually need to build here. That looks good. That's set up. Cool. Now, what about you? You look fine. We have electronic components now. I don't know how they made it there, but well, because I bought this guy. But we don't actually need electronic components because it's not a thing. Gravel. Yes, gravel needs to go there. That looks good. Fuel also needs to go there, which this guy will take care of. So that is all taken care of. Cool. What we need now is a road depot. Road depot, like so. Okay, why do we need this? Because otherwise I cannot use this truck to deliver the rail construction vehicle that we need right now. And then I also need some buses, at least one bus. Let's just use this bus. To bring workers to the station so it can actually start building something. Now I would like to purchase a disassembled, like that, AG only 20,000. Brilliant price, brilliant price. I wanna get you, send you down here, load vehicle, don't wait until loaded, very important, and drop it off here. Cool. Is that gonna work? It should. As you can see, I don't have any snowplows right now, and I hope I don't need them. There's my little guy on the back of the truck, exactly where it belongs, so this should work. We're still in the middle of winter. Well, we are in the second year. This is just the second year has just started, but I'm not sad about that at all. Pick up people there, drop off people here. Go. Because that means this guy should be able to get started on the things that matter. You don't have power. How should we get power to this one? There are two options. I think I like the relatively free option better than the not free option at all. So where's my power? There's my power. Renewable energy, yes. Small wind solar plant, yes. Put this, let's put it here. Because I think this side of the fence will stick around. The other side will not. Where is the guy that just dropped off the vehicle? You are that guy. You can go here because we need this build right away. There you go. Wind power plant is already assigned to it, so that should not be a big problem. I'm assuming, yeah, this road is done. That's good. This guy's getting done. That's good. These guys are not getting done fast enough at all. That's not good. Let's get a couple more things assigned because we need to start moving. We need to start moving some things around. Yes, you two, you, and, well, I'm going to have to unassign a couple things later on, but they can start moving because if this is done and we don't have anything to deliver to it, we have a different type of problem, which we will run into that problem regardless. Anyways, heat. Well, heating pipes have to be underground. You lose so much heat if you don't go underground that it is not worth not going underground. So just telling you. Too long! That's fine. I anticipated that I have to use one heat pump somewhere along the way here, and that is totally fine. I'm hoping that this one can fit, can go straight out here, which it can. That's nice. What about this one? Can you go straight out here too long. Yes. Okay, so those are the two that need a pumping station, and this one can just be connected straight into there. Don't go underneath the mountain if you can. Try to go close to the surface, because going really deep is really expensive. I'm not going to go super crazy about aligning these super well. Actually, it looks like it's in a pretty good location. What are you doing over here? Okay. Okay. It's doing something a little weird there, but I guess it all works out. So, heat pump. Yep, let's have a heat pump somewhere over here. Heat pumping station like this should be more than sufficient. Put it right next to the heat exchanger, even though it's not related. And then we get some underground wires going. That's not wire. That is a underground pipe. There you go. That should work. Get this one agreeing with that pipe that's already running here. Get you out there, and then get you over here, and the snake into there. And now all of this should be taken care of. We still need power, but that is not the main problem. Now we have heat taken care of for this area of the city. Woohoo! What else do we need? We need, well, power, and we also need water. Power is generally the easiest one to place later on, but I like to place my substations earlier on, just because reasons. Okay, let's play the same game. How much can the substation actually handle? It doesn't tell you. That is quite annoying. I do know this. Simple math is one substation can handle about twice the amount of buildings as a heating substation. So I think we're just going to place it in a way that is 2 per heating station. So 1 there should be a good start. We have another heating station right there. Put a substation right in here. That should be relatively easy to access. Put a substation maybe... Well, I want to have a lot of people walking around here. Put a substation maybe facing the other way. And then 1 more substation over here next to university. Don't hate all of the locations, but I don't love them either. Sure, let's do... Yeah, that should get us a start. The nice thing is, once these buildings actually build, the substation specifically, they will tell you what the current consumption is, and you can just add more. It's just a little annoying right now. Cool, that is there. With the substation, you also need a power transformer. There are some modded ones that I really like. Maybe that's what we're going to use. Yeah, this is my favorite transformer, and it makes life so much better. So much better. It's not even comparable. Where would I put you? Where would I put you? The power would come from right there. Yeah, even if this is a high... No, just put it here. Even if you're a highway, this should still work because the connection is still doable. That looks good. That looks fine. Yeah, what else do we need? I'm not going to connect the power wires right now because there's something much more important that we still have to figure out, which is water for the whole city. How much water do we need? Not that much, actually. And that's a little bit confusing. For the water substation, it says 20 cubic meters of water. That's not really what it means. Your limit is how much you can pump through a pipe, but also how much you are currently producing. So those are your limiting factors. Ignore the rest a little bit. For all of these buildings, what do they need? Well, if we do the math again, and it's semi-right, max daily water consumption is 11, and 15, let's call it 12. I don't know, average. So 15. So 15, 30, 45, 90. Plus another 30 here is 120. So these buildings, these 8 buildings, would be the max consumption for a water pipe. The thing is, the consumption is based on current occupation. So if people are in the building, that consumption is actually accurate and that's used. But if people are missing from the building, then the consumption is lower. So for 127 cubic meters, we can probably plan for 10 buildings instead of 8. So this block right here would need 1. Also, this block right here would need 1. Let's just go with that assumption. I like that. Put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. I don't even know where the water connections are, which is probably not a good thing. But they're all kind of pointing that way. May as well keep that going. And I will probably switch them over if I have to the other way later on. But this should be fine. This gets us a start. Cool. If you have water, you also need sewage. So that's the next thing that we do. And it's pretty simple how I place these. I just generally place them right next to the water connectors because they should have a very similar radius. So there's one, and there's one over here. And it's not the end of the world to have to switch those around later for whatever reason. So don't worry about that too much. That's where we're going to place them. So we have 3 and 3. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, because one of the big water towers, actually I would like to have you here, and this may change how things are aligned now. But if I put you here, nice and close to the city center, don't hate it, then that is not bad. If I then, in addition to that, put a couple water switches somewhere that make enough sense, like putting a water switch next to a bus station feels very, very accurate and appropriate. Putting one over here should also work. So, sure. Put one there and there. Now, this one is obviously looking the wrong way, and that's not the end of the world. Get rid of that, and then just switch you around. Point that way. Now, the footpath is pointing the right way. There are way too many lines here, I agree, but it's just really just an illustration. So there's that one. You are usable. That's good. So let's get our water pipes. Now this is where it gets a little funky, because if you use a water switch, you're effectively committing to 1 in, which is a pipe of 127, and 3 outs. You can never pump more in than the 1 pipe. You can never pump more in than the 1 thing that you're getting here. So once you're maxed out, you're maxed out. So this water switch is actually not very helpful in my case. So we're going to get rid of that. We're also going to get rid of this water switch because same reasoning. What we can do instead is make direct water tower connections to, one is this guy, like that. And one will be this guy right here. Now, you run into the same issue if you only have 1 input for the water tower. You can only pump so much in. But I was already talking about the occupancy is important. So if you don't have that many people staying there or being in this range, they don't consume as much, and that is important. That is nice. So that should be good. I think I'm going to add a small water tower over here. Just right behind the kindergarten feels nice, because that should give us the extra water that we need for this guy, without making it look too ridiculous. Let's see here, get you connected in there. Big pipe, yep, big pipe in there, and there we go. Now all of these 3 should have a relatively good water supply once we produce water. How are we going to produce water? Water treatment plant, big. Just one of them. I don't mess around with these. And put it somewhere where you have workers, but also somewhere where trucks have a relatively easy time bringing stuff in that is required, which means over here, let's turn this off. Over here may not be the best place for that. Where would be the best place? Huh. This doesn't feel super terrible, but I don't know. It doesn't feel super terrible, but also not super great. I think this is definitely doable. So, right here. Because it also has a relatively good worker connection already. So, there is that. Let's turn the underground view on again. This one has to pump into here, and this one has to pump into here. Speaking of which, that is the other thing. You need a pump, because you cannot pump up into a water tower. You have to put a pumping station Otherwise, nothing works. The small pumping station can only move about 50 cubic meters, 45 cubic meters of water. The big one can only move about 150 total. It's what they are. It's a little annoying and a little confusing, but make use of it. So generally, use one big pipe per big pumping station, and that's all you should do. Put that one there, that one here, that one can connect to this guy, and this one can connect to that guy. Cool. Someone connected, looks good. We have enough water coming in on this side. Now we just need enough water coming in from the other side. We have a small water well, big water well, and the surface water outflow. They're all fine. I prefer these. The big water well requires some workers. The small one doesn't. Currently, we are planning on 3 120 cubic meter substations being fully saturated. So let's see how much water we actually want to produce. This one can produce 70 cubic meters, so not good. We would need 3 is 360. A lot of these. This one produces 215, so we would just need 2 big water wells to actually satisfy our needs for the city, most likely. The water quality goes down just by being in the vicinity of people, but not as much as I would say never do anything here. So putting these 2 in here may be good enough. Get me some water pipes. Yes, and I'm actually making a small mistake. It is probably better to put the sewage pipes in first because they require gravity, where the water pipes just require a pump. You can also use gravity if you really want to, but I highly recommend just doing using the pumps because the gravity height difference that is required to make it work is quite significant and not really worth figuring out after the fact, after you've already done something. So we're gonna do this. You're not happy, whatever. We're gonna do this, 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 and this. Now we should be connected enough and have over 400 cubic meters of water coming in, and we're only planning on consuming 360, so that is not terrible. Is that all true? Nope, because the 2 pumps that we have sitting here will actually only let us get in 240 cubic meters of water. So if I actually want to get the 360 cubic meters of water, how about I put another pump here and that actually connect this. Weird. You go there, you go here. Now that I see that, that was stupid because the other side has a much better connection. So get rid of you. Give me another water pumping station near this one. Connect you, and now I have effectively 3 large pipes going in and 3 large pipes going out. This can supply a lot of city. I'm pretty sure we're overproducing here, but I don't see that as a real big problem. So, yeehaw. Cool. What else do we need? Sewage. Yeah, sewage has to be placed. It should stop snowing in a couple days. How is our current construction going? Really slow. Oh. Wait. What's going on? No power supply. Yeah, get moving. Highest priority. What is your problem? Oh, you don't have all the things that you need. There's one vehicle missing, and that vehicle is this one. That's a little embarrassing. I was actually hoping that we're moving a lot further, but because we don't have power, we can't refuel the engine that sits in here, and without the engine working, we can't really do anything. So once this guy brings some stuff over here, we can actually, both of these are actually covered hull. We can actually complete that, and then we can get something going, which will be great. Cool. Let's wrap up by just adding some sewage. And that's what we're gonna do. F3, I know that I have a big water well there and here. which means sewage should not be in the vicinity of these guys. I think right here is a pretty good spot for it. Just randomly, feels like a good spot, so that's where we're going to put it. I don't like the sewage plants because they are consuming workers and they're consuming chemicals and they're not really doing anything great. So instead of fighting them, I will just put a normal sewage outflow here. We have 3 connections, or we need 3 things. Let's see if we can get a direct connection for them. That would be wonderful. Why aren't you... There you go. So we have 1 here, we have 1 here, and 1 here. Ideally, this is the middle one. Just a building in the way. That is not the end of the world. Cool. That was easy. This one should have no problems just attaching to its buddy. Go all the way here. These are relatively expensive. Well, these are not very expensive. These can be built with mostly concrete and time. The only thing that really costs a lot of money is the workers, but they cost money anyway. So there's a sewage, there's our water pipes, there's everything connected. This should not pollute anything in this area directly. So that feels good. All we need now is this little crane. Wherever you are, where are you? You still don't have fuel. Why don't you have fuel? Oh, you're still not done yet. Okay, well, that's what we're gonna say bye-bye with because that's important. So let's finish. Is this assigned to the right thing? You are high priority, yes. Let's finish this and then our reconstruction crane should run out and life should be good. Thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it. This was a little longer episode as usual because that's what happens. But we should see progress here pretty soon. At the next city, we will start building soon. Soon. I'm not planning on skipping anything, so we'll see what we'll do in the next episode because I have no idea. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.